The date that will live in infamy is today, December 7th, 1941. The Japanese bombed our military base in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The surprise attack hit just before 8 a.m. local time. More than 2,400 U.S. service members were killed in that attack. Those words, a date which will live in infamy, came from a speech from President Franklin Roosevelt the next day, the same day the U.S. declared war on Japan. A day no one will ever forget, especially the brave men and women who survived. Not that there's a lot of them left among us. Only about 6 showed up for the memorial today in Pearl Harbor. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, surprisingly, doesn't keep track of how many Pearl Harbor survivors are still out there, still alive. If they were 17 that day, though, we know they would be, well, 98 today. But over the years, KTVB reporters have been fortunate enough to meet and speak with several of them who have called Idaho home. The several we found in our archives today are sadly no longer with us, passing within a couple of years of each other about a decade ago. So today we decided to revisit a few years we were able to visit with them on the day we honor one of the worst days in American history. After 60 years, the attack on Pearl Harbor was still a vivid memory for Boise's Don Irby.
On the morning of December 7th, 1941, 19-year-old first-class seaman Don Irby was in a whaling boat practicing for a race January 1st.
At that time, while we were sitting there resting, we heard planes roaring. And I said, oh boy. About that time, somebody said, well, that's an enemy plane, isn't it?
These are the West Virginia and Tennessee in planes.
Irby got to his duty station below deck when the second wave of attacks came.
And I heard 2 whumps. I knew it was hit. I just knew it was hit because it shook the whole ship, of course.
2 years later, Don was a bit more reflective about the attack.
Nobody could ever, even the best naval men, the best intelligence men, couldn't believe that anybody could destroy that many ships in that short of time.
And we came back in the next day and saw the devastation. And it was unbelievable. The Utah, the Oklahoma, Arizona, we saw sailors that the water was on fire. Guys went overboard, got burnt.
You say you're at Pearl City?
Boise's Ernest Mangrum joined the Navy in September of 1939.
Well, I grew up in a hurry that day.
In 2008, he shared his story of survival.
This is my ship.
Mangrum was stationed on the USS West Virginia with the aviation unit. During the Pearl Harbor attack, he says 9 torpedoes hit his battleship while he was on it.
This whole side was opened up. There was one hole 120 feet long and 40 feet deep. It opened up the whole thing.
His memories of that day are vivid.
This is Tennessee, and I swam over to the beach here and wound up down here on the Fort Island. Brings back a lot of memories, I'll tell you. And of course, and then it brings back a few tears too, because I lost shipmates.
A lot of others did too. More than 2,500 Americans died during that morning onslaught, which lasted only an hour and 15 minutes. But the memories lasted a lifetime.
I think the suddenness of it, the awful massive onslaught. I mean, it was such a massive destruction, it was unbelievable.